Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we got our NHL players getting too good at hockey. That's something I've been hearing from other videos I've been watching. People have been saying, like, the players now have way more skills than before. Now there's more physicality. There's a more focused on skill than physicality. That's something I've heard. I've been hearing. So just from watching other videos. As you guys know, man, I've been loving hockey, man. I've been loving the videos about hockey. I've been really intrigued when it comes to hockey, man. That's a sport that is growing, and that's a sport that I've been growing to love also. And yeah, man, as you guys know, man, I got a favorite player now. If you ain't know, now you know. McDavid. I know. Okay, that's everybody's favorite player. Is that everybody's favorite player? I don't know, but that's my favorite player. I don't care what y'all say. Yeah, McDavid, that's my guy. He played for the Oilers. Yep. This man, like, the way he be cutting up, the way he be on the ice. I mean, he's nice, man. Let's get straight to the video, man. Come on.
The other team. It sounds simple, but it's not. Usually, there are two ways you can go about this. Play stifling defense and shut down your opponent as much as possible, or score goals. In the modern NHL, teams are constantly finding innovative ways.
Hold up, 1 second. Hold up.
In the modern NHL, teams are
okay. I be seeing him a lot. Is he like the best coach in the NHL or something? I be seeing him a lot when it comes to when they talking about coaching, when they talking about different teams. I don't know. That's not the first time I've seen him. I don't know. I have no idea who he is, but tell me in the comments. Is he like the best coach ever, or in the NFL and I didn't say NFL, NHL? Tell me in the comments, please.
finding innovative ways and individuals to do option 2, and they are getting really, really good at it. In the past 5 seasons, NHL scoring is up, with each team averaging over 3 goals a game consistently since the wild days of the 80s and early 90s. NHL players have become so talented and skilled that it's changing the way teams are crafting systems. But what's actually happening here? Are NHL players getting too good? Or is this simply just another cycle where shooters and offensive systems hold a temporary edge over goalies and defensive schemes? Well, let's take a look. Hockey in 20...
He remind me of the channel. The channel remind me of Jimmy High Roller. I don't know if y'all know it. If y'all know his channel. That's why he remind me of.
2024 is drastically different than it was in the 80s, when scoring was at an all-time high. For starters, goalies look like my uncle strapping on the pads for road hockey after Thanksgiving dinner. Your average player was less skilled, and generally, the physical nature of the game could be used at times to reduce the skill gap. But fast forward to present day, with technological advancements in sticks and pads, along with several rule changes after the 04 lockout, the era of skill had officially arrived. Introduced by 2 young phenoms with all the hype in the world, the game was poised to get faster and more skilled. And that is exactly what happened. In order to understand how much the game skilled comes with all the hype in the world, the game was poised to get faster and more skilled. And that is exactly what happened. In order to understand how much the game has changed from a team perspective, we have to understand how individual players have evolved. The skill sets from top to bottom for the average player in 2024 is simply off the charts. Every player can skate, stick handle, and shoot the puck. You can likely attribute this to advancements in both training on and off the ice. In the 60s, 70s, 80s, and even the 90s, players didn't quite take their off-ice habits as serious. Some guys would show up to camp completely out of shape, and general health and diet was merely a suggestion more than it was a prerequisite. In the modern era, players training both on and off the ice has evolved to a whole new level. The everyday player is extremely fit. Players spend countless hours doing specific off-ice workouts that directly translate to on-ice performance. Then they actually step on the ice and do countless drills to work on their specific skill set. Once the body gets faster, the mind must either keep up or work even quicker. That has led to the introduction of trainers like our friend Satoshi Takano, who's a cognitive performance developer for the Detroit Red Wings. His job is to help players slow the game down to allow them to better handle certain decisions and teach them cues that hint at which decision should be made through technology and film study. As soon as one player or organization has success when adopting these habits or training regimens, everyone jumps on to stay competitive. The result is a modern day skater and goaltender that is faster, smarter, more skilled, and more physically ready than ever before. And that's not a phenomenon that just pertains to hockey either. Across all 4 major sports, this is common. The individual player has become so good that at the top, the elite are finding more trends to score even more goals. The best shooters and offensive teams have started to capitalize on certain defensive systems and goaltending habits. For example, the recent trend of shooting low. As goalies have evolved at tracking pucks and executing movements, shooters have had to get extra creative in finding potential weak spots. For a generation of goalies who now move better than they ever have on their knees in the butterfly, shooting low may seem counterproductive. But if you can catch a goalie within movement during a brief moment of time, you'll find a hole. To face an oncoming shot, goalies want to set their feet. So finding a way to shoot while the goalie is within movement is one of the best ways shooters are beating goalies. The best shooters can beat the goalie clean before they even drop down to the butterfly. Or they can patiently wait for a timed push as the goalies move laterally. But shooting low doesn't always mean scoring along the ice. It also means finding that sweet spot above the goalie's pad, as Kane does here. And as Jack Eichel points out, the best shooters are well aware of this.
We were at the World Championships, and like Patty Kane's always talking about how he always shoots low, and he had 50 last year, and he's a pretty good goal scorer. So I know I just tried to shoot more pucks low.
The top guys are going here frequently, but even your average Joe can hit this spot clean if they're aware of this trend and how to expose it. Whether shooters are seeing a goalie slide across the crease to stop his momentum, or are anticipating a deke or a cross-crease threat, there are goals to be scored when shooting low. Another example is the RVH, which is a goalie technique that has gained a lot of attention because of how frequently shooters have been exposing it. When the puck is near the goal line and the goalie has one leg against the post being horizontal while the opposite is vertical, shooters are well aware, and NHL teams often use their goalie coaches to scout the opposition's goalie.
See, that's the importance of film study, right? Like, film study is one of the most important things when it comes to sport. Like, I understand, like, even like playing video games, for example. It's not the same thing, but I'm just giving an example here. If you play Madden or you play 2K, like, if you watch yourself play, there's like so many things you're like, oh, I could have done this better. He do this now. Okay, like, you watching the coverage. Like, my point is, film study is one of the best things you could do. If you're trying to be good at a sport, watch yourself practice, watch yourself how you play, and watch it again, see how you can improve. And bro, when you get back, bro, I'm telling you, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get better. I'm just giving you a game, man. I used to play basketball. I play a lot of football now too. Excuse me. When I say football, I'm talking about American football. But I don't tackle though. We don't play tackle. I mainly be playing flag football. I don't know if you guys know what that is, but I play a lot of flag football. Every Sunday we play flag football. And it'd be good. It'd be a good time, man. It'd be a good time and stuff like that. So if you watch yourself play, I'm telling you, you will get better. Trust me.
Up on the fact that the RVH is a widely utilized safe selection in this area of the ice, and they're using it to their advantage. Now, this level of awareness extends beyond where players are to shoot and has now bled into how players should shoot. The most famous shot in hockey is obviously the slap shot. Hell, they even named games and movies after it. Wayne Gretzky dominated the league with the slap shot. Guys in the early 90s and 2000s would love to come in and rip one with all their might with the slap shot. But as the game has evolved and gotten faster, the slap shot...
See, I didn't even know there was a name for that. You see what I'm talking about? I didn't even know there was a name for it. For just... kicking the ball? It's not kicking. It's throwing the ball, I guess. Not ball, the puck. How do you call it when hitting the puck? Yeah. I say hitting the puck. Yeah, I didn't even know there was a name for different style you hit the puck with. See, man, I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Extinct. By the numbers is the shot that is being used less and less frequently each and every year. When 5-on-5, players simply don't have the time to wind up with the speed of the players on the back check. Not to mention, with the goalie's current reaction time, a shot uncontested from distance has a very low chance of going in. Outside of Ovechkin, Pasternak, and Stamkos, who can still have time to rip it on the power play, shooters have had to get innovative. Instead of just using a straightforward wrist shot, shooters have learned to shoot through screens by changing the angle, or have learned different techniques to release the puck as quick as possible in awkward situations. Get a puck that's behind you, no worries, you can release it off your back leg. Get a puck that's too much in front of you, a reduced windup instead of teeing it up to the rafters allows you to shift your feet and adjust to an oncoming pass.
And I know I'm pausing a lot, I'm sorry, but one thing I love about sports, man, it doesn't matter the sport, soccer, football, American football, hockey, basketball, any sport, bro. Like you gotta acknowledge the skill that it takes to play that certain sport, bro. Like you see professionals play a sport, you be like, man, bro. You be like, bro, I could do that. But nah, bro. You get it. I get on that ice, bro. I can't do none of that. You feel me? Like somebody else get on the court, they can't do none of that. But if I get on the court, though, I'd be hoping for it. I could do that. But you know what? Somebody else get on the court, they can't do that. But you get on the football field, you can't do that. You feel me? Like it just, man, you gotta appreciate it, man. You gotta appreciate the skill that it takes for professional athletes to do what they do, man. And I love that.
Little innovations and skill-driven situations have created an entirely new league in a way. Put the greatest player of one generation beside another, and it looks like one is moving in slow motion. As the individual players get better, systems have to evolve as well. In the last 5 years, there has been a shift in offensive philosophy as a five-man unit. Teams are far more open to having a mix of creativity and movement in the O-zone. That's because success breeds copies. When the Lightning won back-to-back cups in the 20 and 21 season, they did it using a 2-3 offensive system. This is when two players stay down low, and then the high F3 swings up to the blue line to act as an option to attack. The idea is to have the F3 and typically a more talented player move up high to get away from certain coverages, and then use their skill set to attack downhill. Then the Avs came along and beat the Lightning using a similar system, except they had the skill and mobility of defensemen like Cale Makar and Devon Taves to create far more havoc in the O-zone. Last season, the Avs and the Leafs had the number 1 and 2 ranked offenses in terms of goals for. Both teams used a variation of this offensive system, with players like McKinnon, Rantanen, Matthews, Marner, or Nylander rolling up high as the F3. Both teams got a lot of good offensive looks with this system. With the evolution of individual players, you see more and more creative offensive schemes like we see with the Oilers and the Predators. The Preds with Roman Josi are a team that loves to get all 5 players in almost a positionless style of offense to create confusion. Gone are the days where defensemen are staying anchored at the blue line. You either move or you sink. The Oilers, on the other hand, leverage the skill of Draisaitl and McDavid and use scissor routes all around the perimeter to eventually open up defensive schemes like man-on-man. Now, for most teams, a great defense is a good offense. And as players become more skilled and the rise of mobile puck-moving defensemen became in demand, it has dramatically changed how NHL teams create offense off the rush. It used to be that unless you were a special talent, jumping up in the rush as a D-man wasn't preferred. But with how mobile the modern defenseman is and how teams want to have a numbers advantage off the rush, activating on offense as a defenseman has become more situational rather than being based on personnel. All you have to do is look no further than this year's Stanley Cup champs in the Florida Panthers. The Panthers played a style that...
Florida Panthers, boy. Yes, sir. As you know, man, I'm from Florida, man. Hey, I'm from Florida. When I heard they won, I wasn't really into hockey at that time. But my brother, he was into hockey. He was watching it. I'm like, it's Florida, man. I'm from Florida, so we gotta support. That's my team. That's my team right now. That's my team right now, man. We're from Florida. We gotta support 100%. Connor McDavid is my favorite player, and Florida Panthers. That's my team. Come on, man. Don't call me no bandwagon either, bro. Don't do that.
Endless pressure along the walls and on the forecheck.
It just happened to happen like that,
Relatively simple system that now requires more skill and speed to both execute and defend. For the Panthers, the system is only successful if players can effectively process the play and react accordingly when it's time to execute. Whether it's the D recognizing a 50-50 puck or the covering forward providing support, the speed, skill, and mental processes that need to take place is something that is now expected out of all 23 players on the roster. If you don't have the skill, foot speed, and IQ to keep up, you won't survive. More and more teams can now play an aggressive style of game because the average player has the speed and IQ to execute that play. But is this all just a temporary trend? Or have players legitimately become too good that it's led to an explosion of scoring and creative offensive schemes?
That's nice.
Well, Pinholes Graham and I looked at the numbers. And in terms of goals per game, the 80s were an absolute blast. A merger between the WHA and NHL brought a larger talent pool to the league, and also some kid named Wayne Gretzky scoring at a rate that no one had ever seen before. Also, don't forget my uncle was still in net. But pretty soon after, the two best goalies in NHL history came into the league in Patrick Waugh and Dominic Hasek. And around that same time, you see both the goals per game plummet and the average save percentage absolutely skyrocket. It's not solely due to them, but it's pretty evident that the position of goalie was finally evolving due to their influence. The position was becoming much more athletic, strategic, and surgical as a whole. Then, of course, as the individuals got better, systems did as well. The Devils originated the neutral zone trap, and in 1996, the Panthers popularized it. That plummeted scoring even more. However, when it came to average save percentage, there wasn't a dramatic increase in the dead puck era from 1996 to 2004. That implies that goalies weren't really getting much better relative to the game around them. Instead, there was noticeably less offense generated. During that time from 97 to 2004, shot volume was at a record low across the league. After the lockout, the neutral zone shrunk, limiting the influence of the trap, and goalie pads were also made smaller. Naturally, that increased scoring and dipped save percentage, but around this time, goalies were the best they have ever been, raising the average save percentage to an all-time high in 2015. But once the NHL mandated goalie equipment to shrink again, well, scoring has been up ever since.
Jeez.
The result of all that is a league that is more talented than it's ever been before. So how do you stop all that talent? You don't. You just try and keep up. There will likely be a time in the future where defensive schemes and goaltenders catch up to shooters. But right now, the NHL is an offensive league. The average player compared to 20 years ago has become too good at hockey. But when compared to the players of today, it's just a reflection of how much hockey continues to evolve.
Man, this was a great video. Man. Thank you so much for this video. Yeah, I like his channel. I like his channel a lot. We're gonna continue to go on his channel to see what he got. Thank you so much for this video, and thank you so much for watching with me. I appreciate y'all. Please tell me what y'all want to see next in the comments, and tell me, do you guys want to see me react to more highlights of games? Like, I got a team now, the Panthers. The Panthers are my team, so I could react to when the Panthers play. I could react to their games every time they play. So react to it and stuff like that. Tell me if that's something we could put. We could have a list of teams that I could react to on the rotation and stuff like that. We could be going crazy, man. Tell me in the comments if that's something y'all want to see. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye bye.